Hey, thanks for checking in on Bathtub Sir, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Trilogy, the trilogy. We've gained access to the crime scene. I'm so excited. We can do whatever we please in here. Well, not whatever we please. We're not going to urinate or defecate anywhere, but we can examine at our leisure, thanks to a very handy letter from Gumshoe, Detective Gumshoe, that is. He managed to sway the Western patrolman to let us in here. That's why there's like a Western theme going on as well. It's kind of hard to explain, but you'll probably see what I mean soon enough. There's a character here who's a bit of a cowboy. We found a phone on the floor. We picked that up and we rang it, and then we got rudely interrupted, so I don't think we can ring it again. So I imagine we just sort of look at what all this is in the boot. What's all this white tape? This rope, is it? Yep, they laid it in the outline of the victim's body. So wait, the victim must have died when the killer closed the trunk on him. You've got to be the only person I know that would come to that conclusion. Okay, the big A. A block. This area is reserved for prosecutors. Defense attorneys are relegated to B block. I dream of the day when I'll be able to park my car here. I'll go over to B block to buy my hamburgers from you, Mr. Wright. I'm not planning on giving up my job that soon. But burgers would be nice right about now. So the car itself, maybe? This appears to be the car where the body was found. It looks like the lock on the trunk is busted. The crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. I remember her saying that, clear as day. Quite a luxury car. It just screams, I have money to burn. Yeah, prosecutors get the big bucks. Not much we can do there. I'm a little bit surprised that there wasn't more we stumbled upon. There's this van here though. Oh, that's B block. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I can see the B. It's through there. And that's where visitors park. I can see the lunch lane car over there, far in the distance. Hey, you're right. I like the cute design on the door. I can see a cartoon cow munching down on a juicy looking steak. Oh, that's weird. Doesn't that strike you as a little creepy? Just don't think too deeply about it and you'll be fine. Again, we've struck out. Completely struck. Oh, what's this? Oh, the actual boot itself. What is that? What's this? Looks like a note of some sort. 6-75-12/2. So is that the date? No, that's back in December. Or would it be February? I mean, I would call that February. 12th of Feb. I don't know. Anyway. Look! Something's written on it. Good man. That's the bloke who died. He was a good man. Can't remember his name. I'm so tempted to say Saul, but it's not. I think it might be Robert Goodman. You're right. Let's see. Oh, it's S. How do you know it's an S? 6-7S12/2. There's a name printed on the paper above that. Goodman. Maybe it fell out of his pocket when he was killed. Well, so, what does it mean, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Note to self, for deductive reasoning, go to Edgeworth, not Wright. I'm sure Edgeworth wouldn't know what this means either. Goodman's note added to the court record. Okay. Maybe we should take it to Edgeworth just in case he does know. First, I'd have a little examine. Check like this. Oh, that's it. We can't rotate it. So some evidence in this you can rotate, as I'm sure you know by now. I'm gonna slide back over. And then I'm gonna... Yeah, you know... Oh, Jesus. That's the cowboy patrol man. Okay, let's go to Edgeworth then. He's not here. Okay. Can we talk to him about anything? Oh, Lana Sky. So, there's no connection between Detective Goodman and my sister. I'll say this every episode, and forgive me if it does wear a bit thin. The voice you're about to hear is a bad cowboy impression. And it's on purpose, because it's meant to be authentic. He's not actually from the West, he's from West LA. So he's pretending to be a cowboy, so that's the reasoning for my bad cowboy impression, okay? You forgive me? Good. That's correct, but there's a goldmine of evidence against her. And the prospect tomorrow is none other than Edgeworth himself. I'm afraid your sister's fate is decided, Bambina. Many condolences. Officer Marshall! Yeah, Bambina? How can you say that? You and my sister, you were... Wait, is there something between this cop and her sister that I don't know about? I apologize, Bambina. Something must have gotten to me. Maybe it's that dry wind that's blowing through the prospector's office. Dry wind or ill will, someone's up to something here, but who? Oh, the office atmosphere. Suspicions about Mr. Edgeworth have been flying around for nearly 2 years now. False evidence and arranging testimonies, you mean? He was unbeatable because he did whatever it took to win. Unbeatable, that is, until he met you. But rumours are just rumours, aren't they? These are prosecutors we're talking about. Evidence is everything to them. If you follow the rumours about Edgeworth to their source, you find one person. But they're off limits. Untouchable, you might say. One person? Who? Hate to say this, but it's your sister, Bambina. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. What? My sister? Edgeworth couldn't rustle all those cattle by himself. Some people load their guns with bullets. Some people load them with deals. What, you're saying Edgeworth was making deals to win trials? Where there's gunshots, there's bound to be bullets. That's what the old timers say. There's a big old secret hidden around here somewhere. Everyone knows it. Is that why Detective Gumshoe was taken off the case? Did they target him because he was closest to Edgeworth? So, well, how are we doing, Mr. Wright? I guess we've got some clues. We have an autopsy report, a note from the victim, and a cell phone. So, you think we'll be okay? Well, the only thing still bothering me is that Lana is confessing to the crime. She says she did it. No problem. I can guarantee that she's not the criminal. Oh, by the way, Emma? Yes? I know that song your phone plays when it rings. Oh! It was still Samurai theme tune. It was her phone that rang. Crap, so that means Lana tried to ring Emma, her sister, the minute the murder was being committed. I know that song your phone plays when it rings. What? Oh, what a beat! It's the Still Samurai theme song, isn't it? That popular TV show for kids. The phone that rang earlier wasn't mine. It was yours. At 5:15, just after the murder took place, your sister called you, didn't she, Emma? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what you talked about? She hung up right away. I see. Ooh, oh my god. Last call made to her sister at 5:18 on the day of the murder. Do we believe her? The detective is murdered and the suspect is the top prosecutor in the district. I've got a bad feeling about this. Like, maybe I still don't know everything that went on here. To be continued. Oh! Day one done. We're gonna get the down. Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's save over here. Then we'll get straight into court. Let's go. I need to examine the autopsy report a bit closer. We haven't looked at it too much, I don't think. Back at court. God, it's been a few months. Shake off the old court cobwebs. We've got a big court spider dangling in front of me. Ugh. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of grey areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big grey area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yeah? A defense attorney should never believe their client. So that means she's innocent then? Because we believe that she did it? The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. There is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is... you're not a defense attorney. Oh, take that! Fresh burn. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. That hand she keeps hiding behind her back, it's injured. It's got a bandage around it. So, I'm interested to see what could have caused that and what she's hiding. She's consciously keeping it behind her back for sure. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. You any good though, Emma? You not useless? Alright, see if it's the same judge. Yeah, I can tell by that silhouette, by that outline. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defence is ready, Your Honour. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honour. Edgeworth. You gotta be like that, man. You saved your goddamn life. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. Oh, the cheek of it. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office log. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, for your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Take your hat off in court, please, madam. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a Fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honour, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca? Sure. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? What the hell is it? Name, profession. Now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running a lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. No, I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honour, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honour. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honour. Parking lot floor plan, okay, interesting. Thank you. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honour. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honour. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honour. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Right, a testimony. How's this going to play out? Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. Yeah, which one? When I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. So she was on side A then. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then, she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend, how touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay. Well, we can press every statement as per usual, and I'm thinking maybe present the car park plan to show that she would have had an obstructive view through the chain link fence. Maybe. Is that too much of a stretch? How did you notice they would always come? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Well, straight away then, we know that she has a vendetta against prosecutors. She's not unbiased at all. So what boyfriend was this then? This boyfriend, he's the detective. Not that boyfriend, the security guard. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having these two boyfriends as long as you're not going behind their backs, but it does make it clear that she's going after the security guard. If they're both aware of each other, then it's a private agreement, and I'm rambling too much about it, but the point I'm trying to make is that, crap, we can't catch her slipping up saying she's going to see her police boyfriend when she's definitely going to see a security boyfriend. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes. this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge has to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. No, it isn't. Wait, yes it is. It's in B block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Yeah, okay. What evidence do we even have? Let me look at this. You see, it's got to be. Couldn't see right, surely. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. You sent something, so you're saying you had a premonition of murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chopped for the seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellow, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odour of an old cheese to match. In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence. It's gotta be it. By garish car, you mean... Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed, it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. That's ages away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph. You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. So she hates Edgeworth because she hates prosecutors. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Wait, is this a different one? Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Crap. Uh-oh. That is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Chief Prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Was she? Where is it? Where's that photo gone? Check. I mean, no, she wasn't. That we can see. But is that too obvious? Let's question it. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edward? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg, I mean, a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip into... Okay. Oh, so this was taken after the murder. So I can't use that because... I can't use the photo on that because it was taken after the murder. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defence has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realised what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, the next moment. The chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. But we've run out of things to press. We have to skip through this again. Yeah, okay, we don't want to go through all this again. Okay, so... Sorry about this. I didn't realise it was such a long response. Right, press on this again. The knife. I think it's something to do with this part. I'm going to look at the knife and then look at the photo. Then we'll look at all the evidence, I guess. Right, okay. What do we have? The murder weapon, usually in Edgeworth's toolbox, traces of the victim's blood, no prints. The autopsy report. 1 knife wound. Okay. Date and time of death. Cause of death, loss of blood from chest wound. Caused by a 4.5-inch knife. A single stabbing was found. 4.5. Okay, so then what did she say here? Was about 4 inches? I mean, that's fair enough. Can we really nitpick about half an inch? I don't know. I don't know. Then she thrust the pointy tip into his chest. Frick. Oh, I'm gonna take a risk. No, we can't use the evidence of that because you don't mention the length of the knife in this statement. The moment of the crime. Try that. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife. Oh, it looks like we may have done it. No way. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swell lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet, it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem. Except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ah, you got a better idea? Okay, objection? Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Yeah, there we go. I'll take that. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, that first chip away at the plaster and it'll all come crumbling down. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the Chief Prosecutor's hands in her photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Ah! These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offence. Witness, add this to your testimony. Okay, the murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. No, they don't. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the Chief Prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ah! Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. But it's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, this does... Oh wait, we can go on this. Okay. Well, okay, right. How can we prove it wasn't premeditated? How can we prove? Victim's memo. Oh, maybe. What does it mean, though? We need to realise what it means. Record of parking in the prosecutor's office lot. I don't know. I don't know at all. What is this memo? Okay, so we've got the investigator's ID card. What's helpful about this again? Oh crap. What is it, here? I'm so bad at this. Forgive me. Hello? Yellow heart? Where did you go? There. Name and ID number. Yeah. I've seen all this. Yabba dab. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't help me. Think. Victim's memo. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? We are in the month of February. What date did he die? February 21st. Okay. Lana Sky was made to her sister. The day of the murder. Oh, I don't know. I'm really stuck here. I imagine it's making for a lot of dead air. It's gotta be... I mean, we can't present that without knowing what it is. No chance. I'm thinking... Wait, hang on. The murder... It could be premeditated because she didn't have a murder weapon to hand. She took Edgeworth's knife. That... Oh. Let's try. Oh my god! I think we got it. That felt amazing. What a rush. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? A bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mummy, are prosecutors bad people? The defence has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh! This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Ah! Oh! There you go, drop your lunch everywhere. Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favour. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was all planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. We go again, for the third time. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. There we go, easy. He was stabbed once. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defence may now cross-examine the witness. We're going to do something I've never done before. We're going to go straight for it. We're not even going to press on this crap. Here we go, it's too easy. Good thing we checked the autopsy. Okay, I could really be eating humble pie literally soon. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Why couldn't we say that? You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now, I realise that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. splattered blood from the victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Oh, again? A red muffler looked like blood to me. Oh, God. A red muffler looked like blood. Let me have a quick look. What the hell's a red muffler? I mean, that photo clearly shows he's not wearing a red muffler. Am I going to be the... No, I can't. Alright, I'm feeling really confident. We'll press it first. Her red muffler. Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. Oh, that's what a muffler... I thought a muffler was a coat. Okay, stupid me. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Oh, yeah. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. So she's not wearing the muffler. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, would it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay, where's the muffler? So let me look at this again. One last time. Do we see the muff? No muffler. Where's that muff, eh? That sounds so wrong. If you're from England, you might be catching the rather disgusting undertones there. If you're not, don't worry. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself, with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you've finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Eshrif prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that. But something red. Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well. Witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. Most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Okay, apprehending the suspect. That will have to wait. Oh, hang on a second. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. Anyway, let's not get too roped into that. We'll do it next time, as you may have guessed. But we done pretty well in that first half of court day. Made some real lunges with the evidence and managed to hit them off. Really happy that I managed to get the murder weapon bit without failing. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that went. If you enjoyed this episode of Phoenix Wright, as always, please go ahead and leave a like, and thank you so much. If you want to see more, we'll listen to this testimony, see if we can pull it apart. Please go ahead and subscribe, I'll bring it to you. If you've got any questions you want to raise, leave a comment below, and I'll make sure I get back to you. Alright, see you!